Gentlemen, playing with you has been the greatest pleasure of my life.
So this is it, y'all. The final season of Infinity Train. We thought we brought it back, only for Warner AT&T conglomerate bros to smash our hearts and play jacks with our teeth. And I'll probably never forgive them for this. And now Infinity Train has been added to my collection of shows killed because of corporate bullshit. And while we'll all be bitter over the show's premature ending, as far as final seasons go, this one was pretty perfect. Because it combined the two things I love the most. Great writing that can be enjoyed by all audiences, and watching a fandom queerbait themselves for no goddamn reason. I'm Sarcastic Chorus, and let's summarize this not train wreck so that we can keep the fandom alive. How to break your audience in a montage. Now look, Infinity Train is my religion and these biceps are my altar, and I think this team can make just about anything work. But if you told me that half of the problems in this season are caused by an Asian dad's lack of pullout game, I would have had questions.
Lucky. I can't get off the ferry without tripping over another one.
Unless I'm doing something.
And of course they make it work. This is the tragic tale of Min-gi and Ryan, two best friends brought together by fate, their love of music, and being the only Asian kids in 60s Powell Lake, Canada. Together though, they're dumb enough to think that they can be musicians, even though Harji Min-gi is getting the look from Mama Bimo and the father of no importance. Meanwhile, shoots all his shots, Ryan is going all out so that his parents can find new ways to care less, with this being the exact moment both of them realized they only have each other, and found it disappointing. Years later, still doubling down on this whole music thing, they dream of becoming Canadian rock stars before going to America to be real famous. This little duet were just great friends till it came to doing things. Literally just Min starts caving and doing what other people want him to do, but hey, at least they have each other. No, they don't. No one would care if I were gone. Ryan wanted to kick off their grand tour of Canada after the show, scaring the planner Min into having a near panic attack. So his ass bails, sending the two of them on different paths in life. Ryan starts living the wannabe rockstar life, filled with shitty gigs, barely passable music, lots of enthusiasm, and the shirt Min made for him. While Min stayed working at a job he hates, being a passive bitch, and dealing with microaggressions. Even apart though, they're still playing together.
My dad's van.
At least it's not medical school Min is set to go to college, while Ryan breaks up with his many exes till one of them finally takes the van. They both consider calling Ryan, this makes sense, but Min doesn't know where Ryan is, so why? But after all the failed relationships and ruts they've found themselves in, Ryan decides it's time to go back and settle. Sadly, they're both still ashamed of Min. Upending your life for me, Ryan wants Min to join him in New York. A bold plan, an out of nowhere plan. The almost identical plan that broke them up last time. A plan that the planner is not down for. Also, love how this show takes the time to remind us what a subtle prick Min is, being a massive know-it-all who doesn't know he's wrong.
Talked about in this booth back in middle school.
It was that booth.
Are you sure it was that one?
Yep, that booth.
No, it wasn't. Just because you're only comfortable when you're right doesn't mean you always are. Shut up and let Ryan take you.
I can show you the world.
The boys fight, Ryan pulls away with the keys, dragging Mr. Responsible to the train where the other train arrives. Why would you do that?
Ryan!
Why would you do that? Fuck it, you two deserve each other. And this whole episode was just young Amelia talking with Singular One, who, yes, believes death is an acceptable alternative to stagnant characterization.
If they don't,
then they die here.
Trainsplanation. Future rock collectors wake up on an iceberg with Talkative Bell waiting to eat their flesh. As far as the first car goes, they've lucked out. Also, I've been informed that some of you do not know what the point of the Infinity Train is, as you are not part of the cult yet. In simple terms, there's a train, people with problems get kidnapped, tattooed with numbers, then receive life-threatening therapy, where they either grow as people or die horribly. It's not a perfect system, but it's pretty close. Unfortunately, the two solo acts don't have me to explain this, nor the mechanical god that stripped them both naked to put them in their jumpsuits, which Halloween costumes make these now. They just have Kez, A bell from Beauty and the Beast that got kicked out for swearing too much. No, not really, but you could see it. She tries to explain to them what they're supposed to do, pocket dimension, learn lessons, avoid revenge sushi. These people are just here for Kez. Making a quick getaway, they find the exit, but can't figure out how to work the dial with the giant line down the middle, hopping from Ice Cold to Hellscape to Hanna-Barbera to Monkeys and Dune, I think. The beautiful idiots fight till they do the thing, revealing their attackers to be aliens. Just roll with it or we'll be here all day. Epitome of negligence, Kez escapes with her pet humans, but not before leaving the car in a perpetually time-displaced hell. Because she's the villain of this season. And to solidify the theme of this season, we have Ryan and Min fight, then claim everything's fine, then proceed to hold a grudge. See, a perfectly healthy adult relationship. Sensing zero hostility here, Kez decides to invite them over to her place, where her roommate is absolutely not gonna try and kill him. And all they have to do to get there is to face all the people that rightfully hate Kez. Bugtown Road. Sheriff Pillar wants Kez dead and melted down into new spurs for a dumb reason. Thing 1 and 2 are now her accomplices and stuck running away from their problems. Good thing they're already experts. Hitting up a bar, the cat gets her mandatory cameo, and I'm left disappointed it doesn't end with her getting kicked in the face. Needing a place to lay low, probable man whore Ryan flirts with the cat, but Kitty wants both of them and agrees to hide them. Except...
Bounty?
Why did you flirt with the cat?
Don't ask questions you don't want answers to. Not her cup of tea. Kez breaks out of her cage and ditches the passengers, bragging about her friends in a pretty clever misdirect. Feeling herself out, the boys are left to themselves, and that most harmful thing of all, feelings. With Min agreeing Ryan's parents don't care about him.
At least, yours probably will.
Yeah.
After getting the keys, the bondsman pops in to look over his old skin, dragging them to face Caterpillar Court.
I'm guilty!
They're going to be killed over a tea stain, and I am once again left wondering what percentage of people die on this thing. At this point, 80% at least. Weird band named Chicken Choice Judy realizes Kez was in cahoots with the cat and is able to get them out of there. They rekindle their relationship like all college students do by talking shit about someone else. And for a stinger, we get to see the Parka aliens teaming up with the Blue Morpho. Is that J.K. Simmons?
Have you brought something tasty for Big Baby? I can still fucking see you, Mini-Me!
New car, old problem. A porcelain cow is being rude and forcing people to put up with her insufferable child, aka they're in Vaughn's. Kez also screwed this car up. Butter instant, don't worry about it. Only way for them to get out of here is to make baby J.K. Simmons a tweet. And in a world without rules, Ryan is in hog heaven. As soon as structure is required, yeah, things don't go so hot. It's like with a giant picky eater, they keep trying different American recipes, but all of them turn out terrible.
Ugh, it's American.
Americans, man. Disgusting post-war food.
Who in their right mind enjoys post-war American food?
We get it, you're Canadian. All the American foods turn out to be disasters, no surprise. French cow has flashbacks, and we're right back to Min's original idea. This is accomplished with old butter left over from when great person, bad friend Kez, threw it all in the microwave. Working together, the future musicians show off how successful they'll be as stay-at-home dads. Friendship is slowly being rebuilt now that they're communicating again, numbers are going down, so it's only a matter of time before the introvert ruins it.
Yes! You're the one who was meant to be on the train.
What a big assumptions there. Min thinks that a passive shut-in with commitment issues can't possibly have any problems to work through, thinking that Ryan is the only reason he's here.
Huh. Maybe the lesson didn't stick.
He'll figure this out eventually. Big Baby loves the treat, still won't let him go though. He's a pig, she's a cow, and neither of them have thumbs to cook with. Door's in the giant baby's mouth, and Ryan's the one who figures out how to get them out of there. And of course, Min has to have the last word.
You can't help it if you have a lot to learn.
Can you shut the f up?
The Among Us queue. So, where are we now? Oh yeah, Min is being a smug prick lording his supposed superiority over glasses, teaching Ryan the same lesson in every car about how not to slap your friend. The next car is an astronaut line to a party Kez claims to have friends in. Burr wants to wait for his turn while Hamilton wants to make things happen. Either way, the battle between passive and aggressive losers ends at the door. Ryan is not down to wait, so he tries alternative solutions. Min hates this because, well, A, it won't work, and 2, he can only see the chances for failure. Ryan nearly dies, again, reacting badly to Min's, well, his everything. His attitude is terrible. They start an argument about how badly they both treat each other and discover that the astronauts are already dead, leading to one of my favorite lines of the season.
Waiting didn't work. You can mess up even if you stand still.
Min is finally off his high horse, and they trick the bouncer into letting them in. Then the other part of the story peeks in. So, you don't want to feel like a piece of shit. Robo Calamari freezes the train in place while locking the passengers in, showing yes, they're all basically prisoners to one and his insane quest for self-betterment. Giving them back their stuff he stripped them of, we hear Amelia on the line telling him that this is good. Now they can all be individuals, not the numbers one sees them as. But that's a story for another time. Oh wait, no, that time got canceled. Because this show didn't have a child entry point, because one forbid not every protagonist be a child. So no spin-off movie about Amelia taking over the train, no book 5, 6, 7, or 8, nothing, zip, nada. All this is to say that this is an excuse to give CCJ their instruments back, and Ryan wastes no time getting naked in a room full of people. The house party is a go with Kez's other friends making an appearance. They're all tools. Bad boy Ryan is hyped and not realizing Min is getting skittish. But he still got naked though in front of strangers, so points for him. After Kez embarrasses herself in front of her not friends, they head to the green room, with what I think is an Adventure Time reference. There's a glimmer of hope that Min won't shit the bed. Ryan reminds Min that he will literally never see these people again, so their opinion means nothing. Pass or fail, they'll be fine. Makes sense, Min agrees. Then he shits the bed again and hides in the bathroom. Fighting the urge to scream at his best buddy, Rai Rai calms down and therapy talk begins. Min is still scared of the train and performing. And Ryan still has that one t-shirt, because good luck. Even though if we really look at things, it's been nothing but bad since then. Min though is really focusing on heavy stuff, like the stuff that would happen even if they got off the train, that they'll fail. And even if they're the best in the world,
Even if we become like the best musicians in the world, you and me, we're just two Asian guys from BC in a band called Chicken Choice Judy. Can you think of anybody doing what we want to do who look like us?
shit, that got real. But together they fall back on music and each other, making the party a success and teaching Kez not to pine for toxic relationships. And if you're wondering, yes, this is what house parties are like. Ah, yes, they did the Get Wrecked episode early. See, Infinity Train has a very special tradition. Besides the great writing, synth music, and the whole horror aesthetic, Infinity Train loves the number 8 because infinity. So in honor of this coincidence, it's almost always a sure thing that the 8th episode is the fucking worst. For example, get jumped by a robot and watch your friend get mutilated, episode 8. Existential crisis and brutal murder, episode 8. Confronting your past and learning your best friend has been lying to you, episode fucking 8. Because what would be a penultimate episode without making you feel like an absolute piece of shit? Will this be the episode to break the trend? Yes, because they did it in 7. This episode begins with everything being hunky-dory because the writers want you to be nice and comfortable before ripping away everything you love. Next car is an art museum, and it's not a Mario reference. Min is still wasting time thinking about all the shots he didn't take, deciding to be bitter rather than better, pushing away everyone while shadow hands keep popping up. Kez tries to step outside being comedic relief, but she hasn't hit that point just yet. And also not great at intentional therapy. Min is having none of it, ranting out Ryan being the disappointment. Now Ryan is going off on Min for being dead weight and representing everything he doesn't want to be. Kez psychs them out to get them in the same room. Applying the lesson, Ryan takes a look at things from another perspective in those art pieces that are cool, which are fun, but you forget them instantly. Escaping the car, Min is left with hand puppets, but Ryan refuses to leave his friend. That's Min's forte. Ryan gets his exit, but his stray thoughts about leaving Min causes it to close. Also, Min's alive and their friendship is now at an all-time low. Did we need this? Like honestly, arriving at Casa de Kez, they have to go through a massive maze guided by Kez, which is this season in a nutshell. Kez provides the physical plot and comedy while the boys figure out their relationship. Wandering around the mega maze, they both express jealousy over the other's life. Min thinks Ryan is living the dream, while Ryan thinks Min has non-neglectful parents. But they're finally talking about the big things which are important.
I know I should trust you, but the truth is, inside I don't.
Bitter, but real. The show excels at this. Sadly, the story needs a big climax for some reason, so the rejects are here, and are still pissed at Kez. And some of these complaints are more reasonable than others. Like she destroyed your car. I'd be mad at that too. Accidentally damaged their charter. Yeah, I'd be mad at that, but not this mad. Escape being a food slave. No, that one's on you. And losing your job. Look man, that party was gonna have to end eventually. But basically, the only reason these idiots are here, so that we can have a reason to chase them into Kez's friend, who, surprise, is the castle. Huzzah. Kez is fine. That is all. B2 dubs, Morgan hates Kez. Shocker, I know. Something happened with a dude named Jeremy, and the house has lost all patience for her friend. Also, Kez, the not Pez dispenser, brought RM here to replace Jeremy. The Monster House isn't having it, arresting them, nearly killing them, in what I can only be described as be our guest, but angry. Nearly dying has a way of removing what little filter you have left, so Ryan goes off.
And then when people get mad, you act like, oh no, what happened? So weird. And then you just float away like, well, it's their problem now. La la la, I'm a belle.
Kez and Morgan are meant to parallel Ryan and Min, having a similar, more broken dynamic and exaggerated flaws. Kez being literally flighty and Morgan being incapable of moving. All this just goes to show that Kez kinda deserved this, except she didn't. Reading the plumber's diary, we learn that he was obsessed with hats. People can be on the train for years, and the book makes it sound like Kez convinced Jeremy to commit suicide. Except she didn't. She just told him how to move on with his life. To finally start living after a car crash took his family. Feels for Kez. And for the sequel hook that'll never be, the steward busts in, rips off their magnet boots, immediately tells everyone they're on their own, and explodes. Which is the impetus for Ryan finally having that mental breakdown he's been putting off. A happy ending for everyone, except the fans. Now it's been a couple days since the whole that. Ryan is still taking his time to enjoy being the angsty one of the group for a change, while Min is now stuck being supportive. Ryan refuses to be a happy camper, till he hears music, and he's almost back immediately. Min tells Ryan that he wants to play with him in New York, and that yes, he does hate his job, his boss, and his major. They start jamming, and Min's portal pops up. But rather than leaving to save his own ass, he stays with his best friend. Overreacting House lets in the idiots because it's bringing up some of her trauma, but all this ends immediately when Kez finally gives a real apology for all the harm she's done. After everything, can they really forgive her?
It's always the best start.
Sure, why not? Everyone is happy to move on after their hatred of Kez brought them all together, but the Blue Morpho is being that girl. Luckily, she doesn't matter. Troop leaves, Kez apologizes to Morgan, Ryan admits to rushing not just Min but himself, and bam, second door. Feels all around, Ryan finally bops that bell, and they're off to play in New York, where they shamelessly cash in on their real-life trauma for great content. Which at the end of the day, isn't that what Infinity Train is all about? The song is a bop though. I loved Infinity Train. This was honestly the show that got me to watch Cartoon Network again, and it's the reason I have an HBO Max account. Now I know that this season can be a bit off-putting to some, because it does have a significantly lighter tone, but to me, after 3 seasons of depression and hard life lessons, it's just good to see characters learn and grow better as people. And if the show had to end, I'm glad that this is the season it went out on. If there's any problems with this season, it really just all comes down to personal preference. I loved this season. I love Infinity Train, and Book 4 was a great binge that I see myself doing for years to come. And I'm personally holding out hope that in a couple years, we may finally see a return to finish what Owen Dennis and his team started. Because in a world filled with Snyder Cuts and Samurai Jack, anything can be brought back from the brink. And I think Infinity Train has a better shot than most. So let's make some noise, make some videos, posts and tweets. Let the world know we want more Infinity Train. Go out, like, share, and subscribe, comment. Let me know which season of Infinity Train is the best. And I'll try not to shame you for not picking 2. This has been Sarcastic Chorus, and I'll catch you all later.